You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Thursday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Thursday. It looks like there is a issue with the bot. Yeah, it's definitely asleep. Yep, it looks like it. It looks like it. It says stream not found. What do you mean? Oh, there we go. Okay, the bot's back, everybody. Don't worry, I made sure to check on YouTube. So welcome, Moanep, Donald Duck, Heat, Ladybug, Dude. Okay, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Everybody's showing up. I don't know why I was being a little weird earlier, but it's okay. It reconnected. I can see everybody. The gang's all here. Yep. You know, the bot is kind of old. You need to, you need to give it a second. I don't know about there, but it's rainy here and I'm sleepy too. I feel that. Okay. I feel that. Thank you. There we go. See? YouTube. YouTube meet Twitch. Twitch meet YouTube. There you go. It all worked out. The bot must have felt that and went to sleep. Cozy little bot. It's supposed to be quite stormy in the next couple days. So, we'll see. I have no patience for metal mammals. What if they're virtual, though? Folks, if you enjoyed yesterday's Left Past 10, make sure that you make your voices heard. Go check out the Letter Hack. Go like their streams. It was 95 degrees here. Oof. Virtual mammals are still mammals. It's a pretty fun episode, and I think that without a doubt, it seems that I won the left off. Apparently, I'm the least, or I guess a more accurate way of saying it is that I was voted the least right wing on Left Past 10. Okay. Did you hear about Grok? I think that if I'm correct, the story is that Grok is now being changed to spit out incorrect information, right? So like, let's say that you specifically after this whole like South African refugee stuff. So like from what I understand, originally it gave the correct answer, right? Like it's pretty obvious that like at this time there is no like targeted or racially targeted attacks happening in South Africa. This is not like a genocide going on right now. This is actually a common talking point that white supremacists who push this great replacement theory like to kind of point to. And apparently that's being revised on Grok. Charlie Martini, welcome. Donald Duck. ADT was voted maximal left. Yeah, there you go. So apparently, that's my understanding of the situation. Is the Iron Giant considered a mammal? That's a good question. Max left. Do sane people get their news from Grok? No, probably not. If you're asking Grok, okay, if you're asking Grok like actual like legitimate questions, yeah, probably not. Probably not. Sledgehammer, hello. Can you give a good argument as to why I should be left instead of independent? What does independent mean? I saw Grok was explaining white genocide, apparently. Yeah, right. That's exactly what I was going for. That's exactly what I was going for. So, like, it would tell you, right, that, like, obviously white genocide's not happening, and then, like, now it's like, oh, actually it is happening, or whatever the white supremacist talking point is. When it previously didn't do that. Like, there was actually... You know, for an AI being ran by a far right billionaire, I mean, like sometimes it would give like pretty decent answers. But I think that's gonna be a thing of the past. Bipedal meatbag, welcome. Independent of what? I don't know. Usually when people say independent, like when you actually press them, like they actually do have positions, and most of the time, like these enlightened independents end up being not so much. I should do the things. Oh yeah, I should do the things. Yes, I should do the things, folks. Before we get started, because I am tired and I want to go to sleep. Before we get started, folks, do the things, okay? Keep liking the stream. I see you guys on YouTube. Keep subscribing. We're at 369 subscribers. You know what that means, right? That is 131 subscribers away from 500. So keep hitting that subscribe button. If you're on Twitch, hit the like button, or follow, I guess I should say. If you want to support the channel directly, check out the merch store, ! Tip, Substack, join the Discord to keep up with the channel. And we do events, folks. We do stuff and things on the Discord channel. Independent is a good political party. It refused to be grouped in with the Dems. That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's get started, folks. Like, why do you make a good argument? Like, why you should be left? I don't know. Do you like empathy? Do you have empathy? Are you tired of like a system that only revolves around exploitation? Do you want people to have health care? Bad lefty. Mowgli. Yes, use all the thumbs, all the things. Coral. One day they might be a billionaire. They just want to keep their options open. True. Yeah, we're all just temporarily embarrassed billionaires. Don't worry. It'll trickle down.
All right. Well, look, maybe there's a brainiac who can explain this. How it is that Donald Trump's executive order saying that drug companies can't give Europeans a break on drugs relative to us is in any way enforceable or is going to do anything other than allow Donald Trump to pretend like he's doing something about drug prices. We got to go to a policy expert. Do we have somebody? Oh, yes. Let's go.
You know, I want to know what's going on because like my sound is like on a delay, it seems.
Go to the Crowder Institute.
Wonk.
The Crowder Institute?
Germany, let's say we're paying here, we're paying $50,000 for a drug. And in Germany, they're paying $5,000. All right?
Good for Bopey.
Now that doesn't
incidentally
happen.
The 50,000 might register, but the 5,000 probably unlikely. It's even cheaper than that. But he's got to make it seem like, wait a second. I mean, even as the words come out of his mouth, he's like, well, why aren't we all moving to Germany? Like, why have I been making fun of Europeans for so long? Oh, okay.
Germany, they're paying $5,000. All right? Now that doesn't happen. And you think that that might affect Germany, liberal progressive Germany, subsidizing green energy? Well, they also...
Wait, what? What does this have to do with green energy? Huh? Moanep, welcome. Hermit horologist. I guess it was a dumb question in this political climate. Oh, is this guy on air? Still on air? How is this guy still on air? I don't know. It's a very valid question. I mean, like people that shouldn't have, that you would imagine that wouldn't have like very popular podcasts are being propped up because like they get all this sweet conservative funding. I miss The Walking Dead. Yep.
Purchased, by the way, fossil fuels from Russia. Do you think that Germany would get to the point of declaring internet a fundamental human right and giving it to all of their citizens for...
So basically what he's saying is like Germany should be more woke. I'm just kidding. So he's basically making an argument that like Germany, like by the way, like yes, Germany should do that. We should do that. He's basically making an argument as to like why we should have public services. I'm pretty good, just need a little more sleep, but otherwise pretty good. That sounds... I feel that. I feel that.
For free. If before that they actually had to pay a fair price for drugs that were created and developed here, no, absolutely not. This shifts the dynamics of...
Pause it. Let me just be clear here. So his argument is, now, can you look up and see what, how many billions in profit drug companies made?
Yeah, just...
Because it seems to me that there would be no difference in price between Germany and France and Canada and anywhere else in Europe as to the drug prices if it was just all being subsidized by us.
I mean, like, it's actually wild that, like, people eat this propaganda and, like, actually think that this is a good analysis, right? And, like, nod their heads and, yeah, you know, this sounds reasonable without actually giving it, like, 5 seconds of thought. Who will think of the poor capitalists and their lost profits? Yep.
Also,
if none of the development could actually even happen, none of it could exist, except for the largesse of our companies who are now making And if listen, I want you to sit down because this is going to be gut wrenching and heart wrenching for you. The profits that drug companies are making. Are you looking that up? No.
Yeah, well, in revenue, it was $1.4 trillion in 2022.
Oh, okay, but that's just revenue.
Just revenue.
That's just revenue.
Yeah, you got to subtract R&D, you got to subtract marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, can you get me the profits?
I'll try.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. Okay, like we don't need to go that far. Yeah, when will we think of the poor CEOs? Yeah. It's hard out there, let me tell you. Being a CEO, being a billionaire that's made their profits and their money out of the suffering of others. It's a hard life, man.
In 2022, 10 large pharmaceutical companies made over 112 billion.
Oh, 112 billion? Okay, that's horrible. These people are just eking by. All right, but here we go. Like, so
People are trying to make them pay taxes. Yeah, like, and that's like the issue, right? Like, what? We have to pay more taxes? What? We can't make more money? Stop eating so many damn avocados. Yeah, they should start a side hustle like Uber. The Interview is a great movie.
do you think they're going to be able to do good things in Germany?
Do you know they have pharmaceutical companies outside America? Like some of the big
like
ones?
Biotin? Are they the one
Novartis?
that did, the one that did the one that did the COVID vaccine? Well, of course, that was just a scam anyways.
Yeah, right.
We import 40% of our drugs, at least, and partially, 40% full on we import. But somehow, the drugs have to go up if they're going to go down in price here. We don't want to cut into any profits.
Yeah, I mean, not that
course.
they could use those profits for sort of innovation and research. They have to just make sure that they get the same amount of profit to have their giant homes and stuff and do the innovation.
Free.
It's
if
important.
before that they actually had to pay a fair price for drugs that were created and developed here, no, absolutely not. This shifts the dynamics of, it takes away the moral high horse of socialists.
Yeah.
This is one thing too, you'll hear the left, they always say, well, there really is no, the United States
Wait, what? Most of our generic drugs are made in India and China. Yep.
is not a truly capitalist system. That's true. But these other nations certainly champion and brag about their socialism and how we're the only nation that doesn't follow suit. Well, the truth is, none of
That's not true. Question mark. What?
these systems are actually true socialist systems. They rely on the free enterprise and the ingenuity and the industry of you, the American worker. So flip that argument around. Well, there really is no true capitalism.
Wait, what? I'm confused. Does he like not understand? Does he not understand like what socialism is? Like having universal health care is not socialism, right? Like having the access to drugs without going bankrupt and just being able to like get the pharmaceutical drugs that you need on a day-to-day basis, whether it be insulin or whatever, that's not like socialism, okay? That's not what socialism is. What's that meme? Like you keep using that word, but I don't think you know what that means. This guy's brain is broke. Yep. His Russian handlers didn't tell him what socialism is.
There really
Nope.
So the argument is that we are subsidizing the free ride that Europe has. Yeah. There's no interest. I mean, you could extend this to like how we are paying for NATO and all these other entities. Maybe we should pull back our bases. Do you think we're going to do that? Or is that We are actually, it's busy work, make work for U.S.
There's a good profit
corporations. And
Hey, we just crossed over the 370 route. That's 130 more to go to 500 subscribers on YouTube.
we're all we're subsidizing the whole world, our ingenuity. Do you understand what would happen to the European political talk show industry if we decided to just pull back a couple of hours a week? Like the amount of research we're doing, just completely subsidizing these bastards.
Suit. Well, the truth is, none of these systems are actually true socialist systems. They rely on the free enterprise and the ingenuity and the industry of you, the American worker. So flip that argument around on them. Well, they're really
Like how insulin is pretty much free in Canada, so the companies made new injection pens and vials you have to buy. Yikes. Have you considered going far right to make up those 130? Yeah, I could probably do that. I could probably do that in one stream. Look at that. And then I'll do it on April Fool's Day, okay? That's the plan, okay? That's the plan next year. If we don't get to 500, okay? That's going to be the plan on April Fool's Day. How I left the max left.
really is no true capitalist system. There really is no true socialist system because you do it only because we don't.
So, yeah, I mean, this is the funny thing. Of course, there's mixed economies, and there's even China. Like, it was a hedge fund that created the AI that freaked out all of those people. But the issue with Crowder is he's trying to naturalize the idea that these pharmaceutical companies will take billions of dollars in profits, and that they're just hamstrung by the damn Europeans they have to give a good deal to, so they can only make up for it by rinsing Americans.
It's
Yep.
like, what is the
As opposed to like our gross deregulated for-profit system, right?
is the minimum amount of profit the drug companies should make? Hundreds of billions?
Or maybe like zero. How about that? How about if you need like insulin or all these like drugs, then like it maybe it shouldn't be for profit. You know, maybe certain things just aren't made to be for profit. Crowder's still relevant? No, not as much, honestly, and that's probably a good thing. Because like he's on his very high divorced dad energy at this point, and like I don't know, like his show is basically like his show is basically in the toilet.
Insane.
This is from NewYorkRequirements.com. New York continuing requirements quickly and affordably. Pfizer, $31 billion in 2022. That is $994 per second. Johnson & Johnson, $17 billion, $568 per second. Merck, $14 billion. They make money.
Trump says he's considering ways to serve.
It's a requirement at this point for these dudes. Yep. He's just fun to make. He's just fun to make fun of. True. Dude had to wait to get a divorce. Can't have his wife having her own car and all. Yeah. Yeah, it might be a little. That might be a little too feminist. Of Mr. Crowder. Can't have that. I think Moderna created 4 to 6 new billionaires during the pandemic, and now they have a contract to work on the new bird flu vax. Speaking of, I actually had to like take a double take on this, and apparently this is like a thing that happened. The highest position of health, the person in charge of this is rolling around in a very precarious body of water that is not safe. And I actually, like, I thought it was like an Onion article. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was an Onion article. I'm out. See you IRL. Heat. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Donald Trump's Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a man who wrote in his 2021 book that he doesn't necessarily believe in germ theory, went swimming in a creek that is
This is your card, yeah. It's been a minute since we checked in with Farron. Yeah, and this kind of like, I saw the headlines and I saw like people talking about this, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought it was an Onion article. So here's Farron trying to summarize this story for us. Because I can't. Okay, this is just so ridiculous. This is just so ridiculous.
polluted with sewage and bacteria, dangerous levels of bacteria, on Mother's Day.
Yep.
While most Americans were spending their time honoring their mother, Kennedy decided to take his very young grandchildren and go swimming in sewage because nothing matters anymore, folks. We're just at that point in life where, to hell with the rules, to hell with germs, we're just going to have an administration that does whatever the hell they want, regardless of the consequences.
Right. I mean, like, this is like, we live in like a, we live in like a post-truth world, right? So nothing really matters. These people just say stuff, okay? And that's it. The worm is controlling its host that wants a mate. Microscopes are cheap. Yeah, but we're not like talking about people who are actually interested in reality, right? Yeah, he can drink it for all I care, but the kids, nah, come on. Yeah, it's not a joke. Like they could get very sick. And given like his stance on vaccines, I would be very wary as to the vaccination status of these kids. Assuming that like the parents are on the same wavelength as RFK Jr.
Even if it means subjecting themselves to potentially deadly bacteria, Kennedy got in the water, fully submerged himself, like head totally underwater, in the pictures he posted on social media.
Yeah, the return of cholera.
And of course, his very young grandchildren were also in this water. So how dangerous is this water? By the way, this was at Rock Creek in Washington, D.C. It is so dangerous that the National Park Service forbids anyone from stepping foot in the water. Don't touch the water. Here is the official warning from the National...
Measles is back, so why not? Is polio next? Sure. I mean, like, why? Like, vaccines, you know, that's a fad of the past. That's a fad in the past, right? Yeah, sewage is nature's vaccine. RFK Jr. 2025, probably. Yeah, vaccines are icky.
National Park Service's website. Stay dry, stay safe. Rock Creek has high levels of bacteria and other infectious pathogens that make swimming, wading, and other contact with the water a hazard to human and pet health. Please protect yourself and your pooches by staying on trails and out of the creek. All district waterways are subject to a swim ban. This means wading too. And he was fully submerged as his grandchildren, also standing in the sewage-laden water, looked on. Now, here's what's happening. You've got water lines that run under Rock Creek that are more than a century old, and they don't just carry water, some of them also carry sewage.
Yep.
And we have known for over a decade now that those sewage lines have cracked and broken, and they are literally leaking into the creek, leaching themselves basically into the creek.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's why National Park Service says don't swim here. There are signs everywhere. There is no way in hell Kennedy didn't see that he wasn't supposed to get fully in the water, or
I mean, like, he just thinks that, like, I don't know, nature, it's fine, right? Yeah, Ben Shapiro style.
even touch the water. But he did, because again, this is a guy who wrote in 2021 that he doesn't believe in germ theory, which of course is the theory that little microscopic pathogens are what cause illness. He doesn't believe in that. Let me read you.
Yeah, so like, yeah, sure. You know what? Let's put that theory to the test, okay? When like we get a news article that like RFK Jr. got like, I don't know, incredibly sick because he went in this water. Yeah, how's that gonna work out for him? That's why he got in, because it said not to. Head of Health Services doesn't believe in germ theory. Yep, the top person in charge of the country's health. So yeah. Wolf Glenn, welcome. Thank you for the subscription. Just got here. Poo water swimming. Yep. Yeah, the head, the top guy of the head of the Health and Human Services of the country. Yeah. RFK used to handle all the dead animals too. Probably ate them. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he's like, maybe the brainworm gave him super immunity. Okay.
How bad the bacterial count is in this water.
Like, it could, just to be clear, like, he could get really, really sick. This is not like a joke.
On July 14th, 2015, the DC Department of Energy and the Environment found bacterial levels over 2,420 times the most probable number of colonies in 100 milliliters. This is far in excess of the Environmental Protection Agency standard of 410 millimeters. On that same day, or milliliters, excuse me, on that same day, no rain was detected in any 3 rain gauges around the city. On August 27th of 2016, at the water sampling site maintained by the U.S. Geological Survey, the bacteria level was measured at an astoundingly dangerous 40,000.
Oof. That's that's not good. That's not great. It is disgusting. I'm multitasking with 3 other streams. I'm suspecting RFK is a psychopath of some kind. Yeah, I would probably I would probably concur on that.
40,000 per milliliter. No rain was reported either that day or the day before. Currently, around 40 million gallons of stormwater combined with untreated sewage are flowing into that every year. 40,000 gallons of sewage. And Kennedy says, come on, grandkids, get in the water.
Like, that's...
everything's totally fine.
That's kind of like the sad part of this entire story, right? Like, you're exposing your grandchildren, right? Like, what kind of a sick freak are you, man? Right? Like, it's one thing to, like, put yourself in danger, okay? You know, if you want to put that germ theory to the test, by yourself, feel free to do so. But don't, like, expose your grandchildren Don't expose your grandchildren. Do you think it's still in there? The brainworm? I don't know. Probably not.
And you know what? Maybe he emerged unscathed. Maybe he didn't have any cuts or open skin where bacteria could get in there and cause dangerous infections. Perhaps the kids didn't either. Most likely, nothing will happen, right?
Oh, I don't know that. That seems like a pretty precarious situation, man. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be like a cut that you can see, right? It just has to be enough for the bacteria to hang out and be able to establish itself. But yeah, I mean, I'm just me, welcome.
And then he'll actually use that to reinforce his belief that obviously these standards are bullcrap. And we need to get rid of it. People, go swim in the water. Just because he did a thing one time and nothing horrific happened to him. Now, that's assuming, of course, that he's not just now filled with bacteria enough to kill a brainworm, maybe. But I gotta tell you, I really sincerely hope this doesn't start a trend of conservatives jumping into...
I mean, like, y'all feel free to do that. Okay. Susie G, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. People who knew him said he changed completely after the worm, sort of like Fetterman and the stroke. That actually would make sense.
Sewage to own the libs. Oh, that would be the worst thing ever, right? I personally know that if conservatives, and especially the MAGA fools out there, if you guys started swimming in sewage, man, I would be so owned. So I certainly hope that they're not looking at Kennedy's behavior and saying that, hey, that's imitatable. Oh, I wouldn't want to see that happen, and I know none of my viewers would either. In all seriousness, please do not ever go swimming in.
Yeah, don't. I mean, like, don't. Okay. He went completely under, so mucous membrane contact. Bro, like, he's really playing with fire. Like, it would actually be, like, a miracle if, like, nothing happened to him. I don't know. I listened to Behind the Bastards on him. He's been really out there for a long time, like even as a teenager. Wow. He's probably got a bit of a beefed up immune system for all the shit he puts his body through. What about UTIs? I don't know how, like, that... I don't know what kind of particular bacteria. I mean, like, maybe? Yeah. Even when he left a dead whale in the park? Jesus. Things can swim into orifices. Yep, it's a wait and see now. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, hey, you know, he wants to, like, be, I guess, human guinea pig for his hypothesis that the germ theory doesn't exist. I mean, it is possible. It is possible that, like, nothing happens to him, right? That is a very, very, very real possibility. I think he has a young I think he was a young sociopath, and then, like, the worm happened. Up the urethra. Ooh. Ooh.
Sewage. Please do not ever emulate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The man is...
How would we tell the difference? Oof. That's actually a fantastic question. kind of makes you never want to go swimming ever. Well, no, I mean, like, yeah, especially, well, if you see a bunch of signs that say, like, hey, you know, sewage comes through here, then, like, yeah, it's probably not the place you would want to go swimming, right? Like, you would want to go swimming in designated, like, swim holes or rivers or whatever, creeks. But certainly not in a place where you see like a bunch of signs warning you about raw sewage. I don't see how his wife allows him to endanger their children. This is grandchildren in this case, but like, yeah, I don't know. I was actually saying like earlier that I don't know if like the parents here are on the same vibe, or they just didn't know where he was where crazy grandpa was gonna take the kids. I don't know. Or maybe they agree. Maybe they're just as lost as he is. Like, yeah, why not? Sure, take the grandchildren to swim in this raw sewage. Yeah, exactly. Don't go swimming in places that say like raw sewage here, okay? Yeah, we saw a bit of blue algae once and didn't touch the water. We also found a couple of dead fish and didn't go in. Yeah, that's a pretty good sign. That's a pretty good sign that you may not want to go if there are literal dead things because of the water. So yeah. Yeah. Social services would be in this if you were involved in this if you were a celebrity rich guy. Yep. Can you imagine not knowing and then seeing your kids on TV in the crap river? Like, I would be mortified. Like, that is the last time those kids would see like grandpa. Okay? I don't care.
Is like the dumbest person that has probably ever served in an administration. Not just this one. And we got a lot of dumb ones. Holy hell. This man is just gone. Like, there is no intelligence to speak of. There is no common sense.
Yeah, like, I would be so freaking angry. Like, it would be almost, like, I would be exploring legal avenues. If assuming like the parents don't actually agree with any of this, okay, and they didn't know that this was happening, I mean, like, if I was in their shoes, like, I'd be exploring whatever legal avenues are available to me. I can imagine I'd see red and yes, cutting off is in order. 100%. I'd have a restraining order before they even made it home. Yep.
Either. I mean, this man is so deeply damaged. He took his grandchildren.
That's a great way of describing this whole situation. Like, he like damaged, man. I mean, how could you do that to your grandchildren, right? Like, how could you do that to your grandchildren? It's one thing if you want to be like the human petri dish, okay? You know what? Fine. It's the fact that like you put your grandchildren in this position that like makes it like so much worse. Like, that makes it so much worse on so many levels. Like, morally, okay, that's just like morally reprehensible that you would even think that this is okay. But like Wolfglen points out, I mean, like, this is literal like child endangerment. Like, go ahead, if you're like a normal pleb, okay, if you're a normal pleb and you purposely put children in very, very dangerous water that clearly has signs that say you cannot be in that water, like, that would be like, you would be in jail that day. Like, it wouldn't be like like, no one would look at this and go like, oh yeah, this is like totally normal. This is fine. Yeah, CPS. If the grandchildren are from his second wife, she was the one he drove to suicide. Jesus. I mean, like seriously, like any normal situation, right? That doesn't involve a wealthy, well-known politician who has ascended to a very, very prominent position of power. Any normal like circumstance, like that grandparent or parent or guardian would be like arrested. Narwhal, well, I don't know if I said hello, but welcome. Smirconish looks terrible. I wish I knew what that meant.
To swim in sewage with bacteria levels that are over 2,000 times higher than what they would think they would be. I don't care what Kennedy does to himself. If he wants to go swim in sewage, if he
Oh, it's a CNN host name? He looks like Farron.
wants to jump into a pile of bacteria himself, he can do that. But when you bring the kids along for fun,
Yeah, I mean, like, that just
he
shows...
doesn't necessarily
Oh,
believe in
hey.
germ theory. It's the rest of the social media world and the entire nation. Did you know, Vin, you have crossed a line.
Yeah, exactly.
You have absolutely...
Like, it crosses, like, a line, because, like, we're not just dealing with, like, oh, this is like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, drinking raw milk or whatever. Like, hey, you know, if you want to do that, okay, and you want to give yourself, what is it? Not salmonella, whatever, then that's fine, okay? You give yourself the free trip to the ER, whatever. But, like, it tells me everything I need to know when you're involving your own grandchildren. Like, you do not give a crap, okay? Like, just to be very clear, like, you don't know, yeah, you don't care about, like, your own grandchildren, okay? Like, that's all I need to know as far as, like, what kind of a person you are. And again, this is the person that's in charge of human health services of the country, okay? E. coli? Gotcha. E. coli. RFK makes me nervous of what he's in charge of. Yep.
absolutely crossed a line.
Yep.
And honestly, I am shocked that conservatives are not outraged about him taking the kids swimming.
Why? Why would they be? Why would they be like shocked? Why would they be up in arms? Right? Like the conservatives, like they don't care about any of this stuff. Okay? Like these are the same people that will argue that like the election wasn't stolen. That the election was stolen in 2020. These are the same people that would argue that like I don't know the COVID vaccine is fake. Right? I mean, like, these are the same people that would be in the same circles as Flat Earth. They don't believe in climate change, right? Like, these people live in an alternate reality. What they see is normal. They see these photos, and they think that that's okay. Beep bop, boop bop, thank you for the follow. No, it's not good at all. I'm not a doctor. I'm a doctor like Mario is a doctor. Well, don't disrespect Mario, Dr. Mario like that, okay? He's a very well-known pill pusher, okay? Dr. Mario knows about the pills, okay?
Again, to hell with him. He can do whatever the hell that idiot wants to do. But when you endanger the lives of those children with deadly bacteria that you don't even believe in, you have crossed a line from which you cannot come back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like,
you are
he's
a
been
dangerous individual that should not be allowed to be around small children at this point.
Right, and like this, again, yeah, that's the point. That's exactly the point. This guy's the same, like, the guy that's in charge of health policies, right? This is him. This is him. So, yeah. I've noticed that when sadistic narcissists are in charge, they put others like themselves in positions to hurt people to extend their own sadistic pleasure. I mean, like, that's not something that I would disagree with. Like, I could totally see that being, like, whether or not he recognizes this is what's happening. Like I could totally see like that being a thing. With I mean, like, who does this, right? Seriously, who does this? There's no way that he didn't see the signs, right? There's no way that he didn't know that that water was incredibly dangerous and that what he was doing was incredibly dangerous. Save for the fact that he doesn't believe in any of the. This is just like insane. They all think alike and have similar goals. Yep.
I think you've proven that. And this is the man, let's never forget, that is currently in charge of the health of the entire nation.
Yep.
Did you know that you
Swimming in poop water, exposing his grandchildren to very, very dangerous stuff. Yeah, also anti-vaxxer. Cool. Karkenstein's Monster, welcome. What is the criteria for CPS to get involved? That's actually a good question. I mean, like at the very least, like they should be called just to like kind of get an investigation going. And the proof would be like just go to his freaking website, his profile, right? Like it's right there. It's on his Twitter account, right? Like I don't know. No thanks to YouTube. Really needs to figure out this notification shit. I have everything turned on. I know YouTube is like that. I don't get, sometimes I don't get I don't get the letter hacks notifications. Yeah, the germ theory, which is like a theory like gravity is a theory. You got to be in his head. Those signs are like the doctor saying vaccines don't cause autism. He's not going to listen to it. He doesn't believe in it. So to him, the water is safe. Plus, he can take vitamin A and cure cancer. Yep. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's true. That's exactly how he sees it. That's exactly it. Like, I get them sometimes. Yeah, I mean, it's a hit or miss. Because YouTube, That's why like I have a separate a thing. Like I literally have on Discord, it automatically shoots out a text, not a text, but like at everyone for every time it goes live, because I know that notifications like Twitch or YouTube sometimes don't go out. So Discord is just another way. It's just like another way of shooting the flare to let everyone know. I'm really concerned about his thoughts on autism. I hope the water does its thing to him. But get in his head, not in a worm kind of way. Carpe Packs, welcome. Hey folks, please consider checking out twitch.tv/carpetpacks. Yeah, that makes sense. Umbrella Corporation T-virus. But swimming in poo water is fine. Sometimes I get a notification after I find the stream. That's fascinating. Thanks, YouTube. That's perfect. I think the vax just makes you stupid. Sorry. Yeah, the more vaccines you get, that's just the way it goes. I'm actually genuinely like shocked that not surprised, but shocked that this immediately didn't like start a investigation about child endangerment. I mean, like it's on social media, right? Like it's literally there on social media. You can see the pictures that he posted. You can see where he was. You can see the signs. He saw the signs. There's no way like he just blindfolded like Bird Box style. Was that the movie called Bird Box? Where they have like the blindfold. There's no way like he blindfolded his way, didn't see the signs, and just ended up in like, you know, poop water or whatever. Yeah, Bird Box. Okay. Sandra Bullock. Yeah. Yeah. Bebop Boop Bop Boop Boop, by the way, you crossed over to 2000. You're the 2601 follower. So congratulations. You crossed us over to that line. Yeah, cholera water. Jimmy Dore says he's chronic ass pain since he got vaxxed. I completely believe that. I mean, like, Jimmy Dore is outside. Like, didn't him and that other clown, what's his face? Matt Taibbi, were they were talking about how like climate change may be may not be real. Okay, like maybe we were wrong about climate change. I never actually decided to watch that video because I think like I would sustain too much psychic damage, and I think that like I don't know, I don't think I could continue after that. Yeah, he might be he's a chronic pain in the ass. Yep. Dora is a piece of shit. I got the vaccine. Now when I get angry, I turn green and 400 pounds of muscle mass. That tracks. Yeah, this is it. Like, look. This was literally 2 months ago. Okay? Literally 2 months ago. I mean, this is literally like indistinguishable from like Alex Jones or like a OAN segment. I'm having chats hallucinations from all vaccines. I think Narwhal was here. So I mean, like, this is yeah. And by the way, I'm pretty sure that like Jimmy Dore and like the Taibbi types like support RFK Jr. I mean, like, dude, seriously? Libertarian Dave Smith destroys climate change narrative. Well, thanks, dude. I'm so glad that a deeply serious individual, self-proclaimed libertarian, okay, is enough to change Jimmy Dore's mind. Like, this is literally almost a year ago, okay? So we've seen, like, the progression. This is not, like, a new thing. I'm just saying. So we went from like, look, you can actually see the progression, right? From like oh, it's the establishment that doesn't believe in climate change, right? Oh, it's actually like they're being super hypocritical, so they don't care. Oh, it's actually like, I don't know, like maybe the narrative is kind of like not correct. Like, oh, it's actually just a bunch of like, hypocrites. And then like, we're not actually going to do anything about it. To like, oh yeah, I mean like just straight up like it's not real. Hep Dave Smith, he's funny, but sometimes I'll never, I mean, he's a libertarian. Right? So like, yeah, there's that like immediately disqualifies you from having like actual like credibility when it comes to political analysis. The moment you say like you're a libertarian, like immediately like, oh yeah, okay, deeply unserious person. Got it. He thinks Lyme disease is man-made. He thinks climate change is a hoax. Anyways, yeah, I literally cannot watch this because I will sustain too much psychic damage to be like sitting here and debunking a obvious like, first of all, like nobody should be taking Jimmy Dore seriously like on its face, but nobody should be going to Jimmy Dore to get like actual information on the climate crisis, right? Like you wouldn't go to Jimmy Dore. You might as well, as a matter of fact, you wouldn't even go to me when taking information about like the climate crisis, right? Like you wouldn't take what someone like Jimmy Dore would say as gospel in any case. Jimmy Dore is more intelligent than Alex Jones, but talk about damning someone with faint praise. The conclusion of libertarianism is feudalism. Yep, and they just like reinvent, like, because they think that they're gonna be the ones on top. So yeah. They think they're gonna be the feudal lords when it doesn't really work that way. That thumbnail had a picture of Bill Gates and ticks. Yeah, because like the title was like, oh, they're geoengineering ticks to make you allergic to red meat, so you don't eat meat to save the planet, right? And like, of course, this is all like a Bill Gates scheme or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it because like it's there's probably gonna be a lot of like headache-inducing points that he's gonna try to make. Anyways, F Jimmy Dore. In conclusion, that is my thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, folks, we got to get through this. Most Americans don't earn enough to afford basic cost of living. I mean, like, yeah, dude. I probably could have told you that over 9,000 times. But sure, another analysis just kind of producing the same result that we've been talking about for quite a while now at this point. The gap between what Americans earn and how much they need to bring in to achieve a basic standard of living is growing. Cool. The analysis... Hey, Chad, is this bad? The analysis from the Ludwig Institute of Shared Economic Prosperity looked beyond whether people can afford daily necessities like food and shelter to consider whether they have the means to pay for things like technology tools necessary for work, higher education, and health and childcare costs. The tracking associated with what the group calls a basket of American Dream essentials lights up says minimal quality of life index provides a truer picture of how Americans are faring than the standard economic data, such as nation's gross domestic product, which we've talked about. How, like, we've said that, like, basically GDP doesn't really tell us much. Jobless rate. The index captures the annual change in typical costs facing low and moderate income households who are looking to maintain a basic quality of life. We analyze these components not just in terms of financial figures, but as crucial elements that shape a family's capability to achieve a desirable standard of living. My parents have become my roommates. They don't want me to move out because I help with the bills. What an economy. Yeah, it's fantastic. Look how it's great. It's working. The findings for the bottom 60% of U.S. households, a minimal quality of life is out of reach, according to the group, a research organization focused on improving low earners' economic well-being. The middle class has been declining. We just haven't recognized it fully, said LISA chairman Gene Ludwig told CBS Money Watch. It's really dangerous because it's the kind of thing that leads to social unrest, and it's not fair. Jimmy Dore was a big part of the vote scam that Chris Hedges led to divide the left and get GOP Speaker on January 6th to steal the election. I mean, like, definitely Jimmy Dore has been an ally to fascists. I live with my grandma. She's got Parkinson's, so I decided to hang out. Much cheaper. The first thing I did was buy her headphones for the TV. That shit was loud. Oof. The American dream is not that it's given to you. Is that if you work hard, you have a chance to get ahead and achieve things in life that you want to achieve. It's not a tent, living in a tent, not having to steal. I mean, like, the American dream was like what? A family home, right, on one income, white picket fence, and to be able to afford everything on one income. Accentuating the class line between the have and have-nots. What is going to happen if we lose the power of democracy? The Ludwig Institute also says that the nation's official unemployment rate of 4.2 greatly underestimates the level of economic distress around the U.S. Yeah, I mean, like, that's true because it doesn't really give you the full picture, right? Because you could be employed, but if said job pays you garbage, right, then, like, I mean, that's not, the same thing with, like, no, wait, that was it. The unemployment doesn't give you the whole picture is what I'm trying to say. She watches news all day. Luckily, she's a lib. Could be worse. Yeah, I suppose so. Factoring in workers who are stuck. Oh, yeah, sorry. I meant to say, based on this, that it also means that, like, just because the unemployment rate is low, there may be situations where people have to get multiple jobs, and, like, that's not a great position to be in. That's also indicative of an unhealthy economy where you're having adults literally have multiple jobs just to make ends meet. The only American dream that was ever real was Dusty Rhodes. We gotta get funky like a monkey, daddy. Factoring in workers who are stuck in poverty wage jobs, right, and people who are unable to find full-time employment. The jobless rates now top 24%, according to LISAP, which defines this group as functionally unemployed. By those standards, the lowest earning Americans around the U.S. are falling well short, according to LISAP. These households, which earn in 2023 about $38,000 per year, which is like nothing, would need, especially like in this economy, 38,000? That's like minimum wage. Like, that is, and that is like starvation. That is poverty wages right there. Zachap, welcome. Would need to make 67 to afford the items the group tracks as part of the index, which also includes professional clothing, basic leisure activities. Traditional headline economic indicators like GDP and unemployment tell us the economy is thriving, but they don't reflect the lived reality of most Americans. Ludwig said in a statement, Americans are working harder than ever, fueling our economic growth, but the benefits of that work are not being distributed in a way that supports upward mobility for many middle and low-income Americans. Yeah, where is that going? That's fascinating. Where is that economic growth going? Huh? Are you around 38K? No, because we're both working, and no, it takes both of us to work. In 2001 to 2023, the cost of affording what amounts to basic levels of economic security doubled, according to LISAP's analysis. Housing and healthcare surge, while the amount of savings required to attend an in-state public university soared 122%. Meanwhile, the median earning from the bottom 60% of incomes fell 4% over that span when adjusting for the cost of goods tracked by the group's index, i.e., like actual cost of living rising prices. Rising 0.37% per year during the same period, less than half as much as the top 40% of earners. The gap of how much low-income families earn and how much they need to afford minimum cost of living is expected to keep widening. Unfortunately, it is growing because the items that go into the basket of goods and services that make the minimal quality of life are inflating at a higher rate than wages are inflating. 38K is just over 18 an hour. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I would lose the house. Yeah. We need a UBI policy with a new economic bill of rights that guarantees housing, healthcare, and education for free. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't be opposed to that as acting as like a stopgap. Stem the bleeding, so to speak. I have to be able to buy food, gas, weed, and ad for YouTube in order to pursue happiness, and Trump's half-witted economic policies are going to make that difficult. Give us neighbor. New economic bill of rights, and after that, I don't care how much money one makes. Georgia mother says she's been forced to keep the brain-dead pregnant daughter alive under the abortion law. So that's cool. A pregnant woman in Georgia who was declared brain dead is being kept alive. Oh, stop it. By ventilators because of the state's law banning abortions. The woman's mother says, telling local news that the family has no say in the matter. People will not be happy, and you can feel it out in society. Yep. I was shocked when I saw my W-2 for last year. 40K, where did it all go? Except for billionaires who shouldn't exist. April Newkirk said her 30-year-old daughter, Adriana Smith, began experiencing intense headaches in early February. Smith was 9 weeks pregnant at the time with their second child. Smith sought treatment at the Northside Hospital, but was released and given medication. Newkirk told the station. Newkirk said the hospital did not run any tests or scans. Northside did not immediately respond for comment. A day after seeking treatment, Smith's boyfriend woke up to her gasping for air and making gargling noises. Jesus Christ. Smith was rushed to the Emory Decatur, and then transferred to Emory University Hospital, where CT scans showed multiple blood clots in her brain. Newkirk told the news station that her daughter was declared brain dead and had been breathing through machines for more than 90 days. She said, quote, "It's torture for me. I see my daughter breathing, but she's not there." Newkirk declined an interview when contacted by NBC. I mean, like, if you want to know, like, how Republicans feel about, like, you know, like how we say that Republicans and conservatives think that, like, women are basically just, the only purpose is, like, just basically to serve as a incubator. This is like kind of like what this is like a textbook example as to like that definition. According to WXIA, the plan is to keep Smith alive. That is really stretching. I mean, like, sure, she's alive until the baby boy can safely survive on its own, most likely at 32 weeks. Republican Governor Brian Kemp signed the state's near total abortion ban known as the Life Act in 2019, but it didn't come into effect until 2022 after it faced a legal challenge and the Supreme Court reversed Roe v. Wade. Under the law, abortions are illegal after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Exceptions include some situations to protect the woman's life and health, when fetal anomalies are detected in a case of rape and incest, which have been documented to the police. Newkirk told the station that her daughter is currently 21 weeks pregnant. It should have been left up to the family, Newkirk said, telling the station that the doctors informed the family they are legally not allowed to consider any other options. I'm not saying that we would have to choose to terminate her pregnancy, but what I'm saying is we should have a choice. A spokesperson for Emory Healthcare said it uses consensus from clinical experts, medical literature, and legal guidance to support our providers as they make individualized treatment recommendations in compliance with the abortion law and other applicable laws. Our top priorities continue to be the safety and well-being of the patients we serve. Newkirk said the family is also having to deal with the financial responsibility of keeping Smith on life support. So there's your answer, Wolf Glenn. Is the state paying for the cost of keeping this woman alive? No. So yeah, I mean, yeah. This is such a gross freaking story, man. And this is all possible in Georgia because of Republicans, right? Because of Brian Kemp, because of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. They don't have a choice here. Red-controlled states are more at risk. Yep. I'd be suing and sending the bill to the state. This is why you leave these choices between patients and doctors, right? And guardians, right? Like between guardians and doctors, right? Like this is why you leave that choice between these folks instead of making it a law. They don't have a choice. Who has the insurance? Is it hers or the parents? Good question. Well, I would imagine it would be her insurance, not the parents, right? Because it would be she's the quote patient, right? But if the if it's her insurance, like it may not cover beyond a certain point, right? Like they'll say, okay, you get I think she's older. I think she's older. Let me see. That's right here. Yeah, she's 30. So she's definitely not on like the parents' policy. My understanding is that like I imagine that that the insurance policy would pay for like an X amount of like, I don't know, days, right? Like they'll say like your policy will cover like 10 days or whatever. And past that you have to like pay out of pocket, or maybe it'll say like, oh, we'll cover, I don't know, like X percentage, but like after that, then like you're kind of on your own. Michael Hasser, welcome. 26 is a new teen. There's no cap on payment if she is in network. Well, I mean, it depends on the policy, right? Like, it would be, what if she's not, like, in one of those, is it HMO? What is it called? PPO? Yeah, it just depends on the policy, I imagine. I could be wrong. It also depends on the state, yeah. There's a max out of pocket per year. Yeah. Before the insurance kicks in, and depending on what kind of policy. But like, I think that in a situation like this is like, they would consider this like ongoing care, right? Like, we're not talking about like in an emergency situation. I don't know how they would like consider it. Maybe they're like, well, this is out of this is ongoing care, and those costs are whatever. Like continuing care, I guess. It's confusing by design. Yep. Healthcare in the U.S. has always been jacked up. I'm not sure Trump can make it any worse, but I know he'll try. I mean, I could be wrong about that. This is the part what I do for a living. Out of pocket, max can be $20K or more, depending on your policy you get. Oof. $20K? I ain't got that kind of. I ain't got that kind of cash. Part of Obamacare was not lifetime max. Gotcha. What would happen if she had a DNR when it happened? Could they still have done this? That's a good question. If she didn't have like a, but they're not. How would you square that circle legally? I don't know. I don't know how they would consider that. Not a baby for free with my insurance, but I had met out of pocket max already that year. Gotcha. I hit my out of pocket max back in February. Oof. If she had a DNR prior, they would just take her off life support if it was the family's wishes. Right, but the contention is like, well, you have to keep the child alive, right? So therefore, like, how would they square that circle, right? Because like, It'd be simple, right? You do not resuscitate means do not resuscitate. Can't be on life support. But like, the issue would then be like, how would that contradict with the whole you can't like let this unborn fetus die, right? I survived a heart attack in July of 2023. I should have my medical bills paid off by November of 2187. Sounds about right. Yeah, now that part sounds more complicated, right? Right, because like, what do? It says do not resuscitate, but like the law says you can't not let that fetus, you have to bring that fetus to term, right? Also, there's a good chance that the pregnancy caused a woman's medical issue. Pregnancy can be dangerous. Yeah, I mean, it's quite possible. Yes, pregnancy is very dangerous. That is absolutely a possible scenario. Yep, that's true. Blood clots is a common issue during pregnancy. Yep. Supreme Court justices appear divided in birthright citizenship arguments. I don't know how this could be divisive, but okay. At the Supreme Court on Thursday today, the justices, the 9 law wizards, heard a case challenging the constitutional provision guaranteeing automatic citizenship to all babies born in the United States, but the arguments focused on a separate question. Can federal district judges rule against administration on a nationwide basis? Okay. The justices appear to be divided on the issue. Several seem skeptical of the Trump administration's argument that lower courts should not have the right to issue nationwide injunctions. What hospitals do with the newborn? What do states do with the newborn? Said Justice Brett I like Beer Kavanaugh. Solicitor General asked the Solicitor General John Sauer, the government's lawyer, about how the federal government would enforce Trump's order. Justice Brown Jackson was more pointed. Your argument seems to turn our justice system, in my view at least, into a catch-me-if-you-can kind of regime where everybody has to have a lawyer and file a lawsuit in order for the government to stop violating people's rights. Yep. Justice Clarence Thomas seemed more receptive to Sauer's argument, of course, noting that the U.S. had survived without nationwide injunctions until the 1960s. Well, thanks, Clarence Thomas. New Jersey Solicitor General Jeremy Feigenbaum, who represented the 22 states suing the government, told the court that the nationwide injunction should be available in narrow circumstances, like this case involving birthright citizenship. Kelsey Corcoran, who represented pregnant women and immigration rights groups in the case, suggested allowing nationwide injunctions only when the government action is deemed by the plaintiffs to be violating the Constitution. She argued that an injunction limited only to parties in the case would not be administratively workable. I give the hospital the basic poor people's payment plan, $20 a month to keep the bill collectors at bay. Never pay it off. This is not financial advice. I give the hospital basic poor people's payment plan, $20 a month. It's divisive because Thomas and Alito can't glaze Trump without being obvious. True. President Trump has long maintained that the Constitution does not guarantee birthright citizenship, so on day one of his presidential term, he issued an executive order barring automatic citizenship from any baby born in the U.S. whose parents entered the country legally or were here legally but on a temporary visa. On Thursday, he posted on Truth Social that it all started right after the Civil War ended. It had nothing to do with the current day immigration policy and repeated incorrect claims that the U.S. is the only country with birthright citizenship. Immigration rights and rights groups in 22 prominently states promptly challenged the Trump order in court. Since then, 3 federal judges, conservative and liberal, have ruled that the Trump executive order is, as one put it, blatantly unconstitutional. and 3 separate appeals courts have refused to unblock these orders while appeals are ongoing. Meanwhile, Trump's legal claim has few supporters. Nonetheless, the Trump administration took its case to the Supreme Court on an emergency basis, but instead of asking the court to rule on the legality of Trump's executive order, the administration focused its argument on the power of the federal district court judges to do what they did here, which is rule against the administration on a nationwide basis. So yeah, I mean, like this is the kind of shenanigans that they're trying to pull to circumvent the Constitution, right? Like that's fundamentally what this is all about, right? They want to like get this like narrow ruling here to then be able to say, well, like, see, they can't actually stop us. If dual citizenship is going away, does that mean we can kick Tom McDonald's ass back to Canada? Yeah, look, that one's something that like Canada did kind of impose on us. So like I think it's their moral obligation to take Tom McDonald back, okay? Assuming that he still lives in Canada. I'm not sure. Did Tom McDonald move to Texas or something? Because that would be like a Tom McDonald thing to do. All right, folks, we got one more on that topic of being able to have bodily autonomy. Missouri lawmakers moved to repeal abortion protections enacted by voters. That's right. So even though voters want this, I guess that's not enough. Missouri lawmakers passed a voter referendum on Wednesday that, if approved, would repeal protection for abortion rights and restore a ban on nearly all abortions in the state. We keep Deadpool, but the actor could stay in Canada. The move comes 6 months after Missouri voters approved an amendment enshrining the rights to reproductive freedom, including abortion care, in the state's constitution, effectively overturning a nearly total abortion ban that was in effect. A circuit court affirmed the right to reproductive freedom in December. The bill now heads to the governor's desk, but does not need a signature to appear on a ballot. So just pay attention, folks. So they're trying to reverse that amendment, right, or ballot initiative. I live in Missouri, and the story pisses me off. The voters have effing decided. Well, yeah, and now you're going to have to decide again. So be very pay attention, because it's going to be on the ballot, and folks need to vote against this. The initiative will appear on the November 2026 ballot unless Governor Mike Kehoe calls a special election sooner than that. If it passes, pay attention, HJR 73 would prohibit abortions except in cases of medical emergencies, fetal anomalies, rape, or incest. If the abortion is due to rape or incest, it must occur no later than 12 weeks gestation. So that's cool. Very cool. Senate Republicans are overturning the will of the voters and pushing to bring an abortion ban back to Missouri. Yep, said Missouri Senate Democrats in a post on Twitter. This new ballot item will ban abortion and take away rights that voters had secured 6 months ago. So yeah, just pay attention to this, folks. Ballot initiatives are things, one of the few remaining ways that you directly impact policy. And now they want to put their own ballot initiative to reverse that. First one. If approved, the amendment would also permit state lawmakers to enact legislation to regulate abortions and to access care. So, yeah. These laws shall include, but not limited to, laws requiring physicians providing abortion care to have admitted privileges at a nearby hospital, laws requiring facilities where abortions are performed or induced to be licensed and inspected for clean and safe conditions and adequate instruments to treat any emergencies arising from abortion procedures, laws requiring physicians to perform sufficient examination of a woman to determine the unborn child's gestation age and any pre-existing medical conditions that may influence the procedure, and laws requiring ultrasounds to be performed only by physicians or licensed medical technicians. State Senator Adam Schnelting, obviously a man, who sponsored the bill, did not immediately return ABC's request for comment. Anti-abortion rights praised the bill. Groups praised the bill, saying it will, quote, save lives. And so if you don't catch it in 3 months, you will be giving birth to your rapist baby. Cool. Yeah, very cool. Very pro-freedom. And the line to get an ultrasound 4 months out. Yep. Hey, look at that. Unfortunately, you're going to have to keep that baby. Yep. We applaud the Missouri legislator for passing this, quote, pro-life amendment to save lives, protect parents' rights, question mark, and safeguard women and girls. Sure, said Marjorie Dana, president of the anti-abortion rights group, Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America. We call on Missouri GOP leaders in Washington and across the state to offer their strong vocal support for this measure. Since Roe v. Wade was overruled by the Supreme Court in June of 2022, 12 states have ceased nearly all abortion services, while 4 states have a 6-week ban on the books. Following that Supreme Court decision, Missouri enacted a trigger law that banned most abortions in the state. However, Amendment 3, which enshrined abortion rights in the state constitution, passed in November of 2024, with 52% of the voters in favor of this amendment. Anti-abortion activists such as SBA have argued that the amendment is extreme and goes beyond Missourians have supported, even though the majority voted in favor of it. Yeah. This kills women. Yep. Abortion Action Missouri, the group that supported Amendment 3, released a statement on Wednesday criticizing the lawmakers for attempting to reinstate the abortion ban. Quote, Missourians support access to abortion. This past November, more than 1.5 million Missourians made their voices heard at the ballot box voting to enshrine abortion rights in the Missouri Constitution, said Mallory Schwartz, Executive Director of Abortion Action Missouri. And right now, thanks to Missourians, abortion is legal and available for the first time in years. Despite this, anti-abortion politicians pass HJR 783, showing us they think Missourians are disposable. We know the truth. Missourians are used to fighting back, and we are prepared to keep showing up. In the past 4 months, thousands of Missourians have shown up over and over again to defend the will of the people. Do not underestimate their determination. So again, please pay attention to this, folks, and this upcoming midterms in 2026. This is going to be on the ballot. Okay. Very important stuff. Yeah, let's go, Missouri. We believe in you, okay? You did it once. You did it once. You can do it again. Okay? I know the right-winger mindset a little too well. I'm surrounded by it. Let me tell you, there's less of these people than meets the eye. Show me what you got. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. It's time for me to go. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the new follows. Thank you, Bebop, Susie, for the follows. Thank you, Wolfglen, for a tier 1 sub. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Thank you, all of you here on Twitch. Thank you for hitting that follow button on the Twitter, on the YouTube. Thank you for hitting that like button and subscribing. I appreciate you guys being here. You guys are what makes this channel go. If you want to keep supporting the channel, there are many ways of doing so. If you want to support the channel directly, make sure you check out the merch store and hit the exclamation mark tip. Join the Substack. The Discord, all of that awesome stuff. I really, really, really appreciate it. Yeah, join the YouTubes. Mouselander, welcome. I'm in Cali, but there's there's talk about having abortion limits here. Eesh. Yikes. That's why you got to stay engaged, folks. You got to stay engaged. Movie night this Saturday. Join the Discord, folks. Join the Discord. I'll be playing something. Awesome. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mona. Thank you all. It's time for me to get out of here, folks. As always, we'll be back on Monday. Oh, folks, also, I'm going to make another announcement on Monday, but Tuesday, there might not. I'm pretty sure there's like a 90% chance there will not be stream on Tuesday, so just be aware of that. So I'll make the announcement today. I'll make the announcement on Monday as well, and a reminder on the Discord on Tuesday. So yeah, Hard Eyes was good, by the way. I need to watch it. Time for food, best time in my opinion. Yep, sounds good to me because I'm hungry. So yeah, Tuesday, there is a pretty much certain chance that there will not be stream, unless something changes, question mark, we'll see. But yeah, just be aware of that. Thank you, Hermit Horologist, I appreciate it. Time for me to get out of here. Thank you all, I appreciate it. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya! Thank you, Heaton. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding the chat. Appreciate it. All right, folks, hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.